Hello there. You're welcome back to Diamond Clothiers. It's always a pleasure to have you here. It's been a while actually. If this is the first time you're coming across this channel, kindly click on the subscription button and don't forget to put on your notification bell as well. So on today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to make these two pieces style that we have here. You can see the side as a root, but I'll be starting with the trouser part first of all. So the first thing I'm going to do is to rule out a straight line which I'll be using as my waistline. So for this trouser, it's going to have an elastic at the waist. So the first measurement I'm going to take is the waist to hip, which is 10 inches. I will note that 10 inches and rule a straight line across. And then the next measurement is going to be the crotch line, the waist, the hip to the crotch line that I'm making use of is just 3 inches. You can sit on a chair and then you measure from your waist down to your butt just for you to get your waist to crotch line. So mine is actually 13 inches, and from the waist to the thigh line that I'm working with is 15 inches. So on that line as well, I'm going to rule a straight line across. So back to the waist, since it's going to have an elastic, I'll be working with the round hip measurement, and you're going to take your round hip measurement divided by 4, and then you add your allowance. I'll be working with 1 inch allowance. So on that waistline, what I'm working with is 11.5 inches. I'll rule that into a straight into I'll note the point right there, and also on the hip line I'm going to take note of that point and connect it also on the crotch line as well. I'm going to connect it into a straight line. To get the crotch curve, I'll divide the round hip measurement by 4, and whatever I have, I'll further divide it by 4. So whatever I have right there, I'm going to put it at the extended line. Just look at what I'm doing, and then I'm going to connect this to the hip line. On the timeline, take your run time measurement divided by 2 and add your desired allowance. It actually depends on how wide or free you want the pants to be. So my round time measurements plus the allowance is 14 inches. So whatever I have right there, I will put it at the full length of the pants. I want my pant to be free, so I'm going to connect this line upward to meet the time line, and then I'll cut it out. After doing that, you place the front piece on the remaining fabric to cut out the back piece, and that is what I just did. So I'll be adding extra allowance. So on the waistline, I will add 2 inches. On the hip line as well, I will add 2 inches and connect it together. And on the crotch curve, I will add the same allowance I used earlier, which is 2.5 inches. Then I'll connect all these lines together. On the timeline as well, I'll be making use of 2 inches extension, and on the full length of the pant, I will make use of 2 inches. So all of this line, I'm going to connect it together and I'll cut it out. After that is done, the next thing to do is to sewing. So on the center front, I'll take it to my sewing machine to join both sides together, and I'll do the same thing for the back as well. So after that is done, you should open it up this way. You place the front on the back, make sure that the side aligns, and then you take it to your sewing machine to join both sides. And for the midpoint of the pants, you take it to your machine as well to join them together. After joining, we'll be working with the elastic casing. I hope you can remember that while we were cutting these pants, the elastic casing allowance has been added to the waist. Okay, so what we are going to do is that I'm going to fold it by half of an inch, and then I'll further fold by 1 inch just to make sure that the elastic will be able to pass through. Okay, so you do that on your sewing machine, you stitch it all around and leave an opening of 1 inch, and the length of the elastic that I'm working with is 29 inches. Just make sure that you reduce your exact hip measurement by whatever allowance you feel will be comfortable to pass through your waist. And on the hem line, you fold the hemming allowance that you must have added to your pants, and then you hem it all round. You do the same thing for both legs of the pants. So here's the end result of the pants. Yours should look this way as well. So right now, place that aside and start working on the top. So fold your fabric into two, and then you further fold it into, because I'll be cutting both the front and the back together. So for this top, the neck width that I'll be working with is 3.5 inches, and I'll be working with 1 inch for the back neckline. And then for the front neckline, the neck depth that I'll be working with is 3.5 inches. So these two necklines, I'm going to connect it into a round neckline using my curve rule. The next measurement I'll take right here is the shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. So half of your shoulder to shoulder measurement that I'm working with is 7 inches. So I'll mark that 7 inches, and then I'm going to determine the length of my sleeve. And the length of the sleeve that I'm working with right here is 10 inches. This actually depends on you. You can make it shorter or wide or longer than this, but note that this 10 inches includes the sewing allowance. So on that 10 inches, I'll come down by 1 inch to form the shoulder slope, and then I'll connect it to the neck width. After that is done, from my shoulder measurements, I will measure down to the bust line, which is 11 inches. I will mark that 11 inches, and I will rule a straight line across. Then I'll take the shoulder to waist measurements, and what I'm working with is 16 inches. I'm going to note that point as well and rule a straight line as well. So the total length of this top actually depends on you. Remember, this top has a ruch, so it depends on how long you want it to be. Okay, so on the bust line, I'll be taking my round bust measurements divided by 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9.25. Then I will add 2 inches allowance. This top is actually a free top. You can decide to increase the allowance. Okay, so the measurement I used on the waistline, including allowance, is 12 inches. So on the shoulder slope, I'll be making use of 10 inches as my sleeve opening. So I'll mark that 10 inches, and then I'm going to make a curve and connect it to the bust point just to create a little armhole there. Then I'm going to just rule it down to the allowance that I have on the waistline. I'm just trying to make sure that my lines are visible enough. So after that is done, I'm just trying to cross check my allowance, and then the next thing I have to do right here is to cut it out. So I'll be cutting out the back neckline first of all, cut through the shoulder, the sleeve, the sides, then I'll remove the back, and then I'll just cut out the front neckline. After cutting both the front and the back neckline, open it up this way, making sure that the right side of both the front and the back is facing each other. Make sure you align the top very well, and then you take it to your sewing machine to join the shoulders, join both shoulders, and you hem the sleeve. So after I was done, this is what I have. Okay, you can see that I've gone ahead to join the shoulders and hem the sleeve. So the next thing that I'll be doing right here is that from one tip of the sleeve, I'm going to be joining the sides. I'm going to do the same thing for both sides of the top, and for the neckline as well, I'm going to tape it all around. So for the neckline, I use the piece of fabric to tape it round, and as you can see, I've joined the side. So the next thing we'll be doing right now is to work on the root side of the top. So pick one side of the top and then you open it up this way. So the length of the ruche that I used is actually 10 inches. You can make yours to be longer, but I think this depends on the length of the top. Okay, so from the full length of the top, measure 10 inches upwards, and then when you are sewing the side, make sure you have enough allowance so that your rope can pass through. So on this side, I'm going to be folding it by 2.5 of an inch, and then I'm going to stitch it up to that 10 inches. But make sure that you don't close the top. Okay. So this is the rope I'll be working with, and the width of this rope is 1.25 inches. Okay. 1.25. So you cut out rope for both sides. So this is what I've done on one side. So let me just take you through the process of working with the other side. So for the row, what I did was just to use my needle and thread to I tied it, and then I inserted the other side of the needle that is not sharp into the rope just for me to turn out the rope. That was what I did. So after inserting it that way, you are going to pull gently so that the thread did not cut, will not cut rather. So pull it, and then you are just going to, once you get to the other end of the rope, you are just going to pull it out this way. So this is what I have, and the length of this rope is 40 inches long. The length of this rope is 40 inches long. So let me take you through the process of working on the other side. So after joining the side, make sure that you notch it at that side where the 10 inches ends. You make sure that you notch it. So with the use of your safety pin, you are going to insert the rope into the casing that you have made. So when you get to the top, that 10 inches that we measured, you're going to pull it out. So because the size has been notched, it is going to be very easy to pull it and insert it in the other side. Just look at what I'm doing. So after inserting it in the other side, you just pull it out through the second opening. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. So you can see that the making of this dress is actually very easy. So the very last thing to do is styling. The way you want to style it depends on you can decide to leave it without ruching the side, and you can just ruch it as you so desire. So this is the final outcome, and you can see that this looks so nice and it is fashionable. I really love it. Don't forget to put on your notification bell, and please click on the subscription button if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet. So on the comment section as well, let me know how you feel about this video, and give me a giant thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying till the very end of this tutorial, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.